During this lesson, we'll finally dig into some sight singing. We'll talk about some solfege basics, and then we'll discuss how to find do. The first sight singing lesson includes stepwise motion, so we'll discuss that as well. Let's go over the basics of solfege first. These are the 7 solfege syllables: do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti. We end on do where we started. Solfege unifies the relationship between notes. When we sight sing, we use these syllables instead of note names or lyrics because they help our ear understand how notes work together. You might be wondering, why not just use the note name letters? Because the relationship between notes changes from key to key, and that means notes can sound different. The distance from F to G here is different than the distance between F sharp and G noted here. That sharp changes the distance. In this example, we see an A and a B flat. That will sound different with the flat in there. Sharps and flats change the distance between notes. Solfege gives us a way to even out those differences. The distance between solfege syllables never changes. So this is how it unifies that relationship between the notes. For example, do and re is always the same distance. It will always sound the same regardless of which note is do. Solfege also helps you hear the unique jobs that each syllable has. And that might sound a little crazy, but your ear already knows about these jobs. Learning to read and sight sing is teaching your brain to catch up with what your ear already knows. So for that reason, do has a feeling of home or finality. Some people describe it as a feeling of rest. Re, so, and ti will leave things feeling somewhat unfinished. You really can't end a song on those syllables. They want to get back to do. They want to go home. When we get to the exercises, you'll be able to listen to some examples of this. So now let's talk about how to find do. This is the key signature for C major. You can find the key signature at the beginning of the music. Now, since there are no sharps or flats in the key of C, there's really nothing to see here, but that makes it one of the easiest to remember. Do is determined by the key. So since this is the key of C, C is do. Here are all of the notes in the key of C. Again, you'll notice no sharps and no flats. We take the scale and line it up with the solfege. C becomes do, since the key determines do. D becomes re, and so on. When we add notes, this is what it looks like. So when you're sight singing in the key of C, these are the syllables you'll use. Do changes when the key changes. Here's a different key signature. There's one flat, B flat. So how do we know what key it is? We need to figure out the key so we can figure out do. In flat keys, the last flat is always fa. So if we work backwards, we find that B flat is fa, A is mi, G is re, and then F is do. And remember, the name of the key will be do. So this is the key of F. So here's our F scale with all of the notes in the key of F. And here's the key of F lined up with all the solfege syllables. F is do, G is re, and so on. Now we add notes, and this is how things look in the key of F. Now, notice when you're in the key of F, F is do. When we were in the key of C, C was do. This is a movable do system. Do moves with the key. Here's another key with a sharp. How do we find do in sharp keys? The last sharp is T. So the sharp is an F sharp. F is T. G comes after F, and do comes after T. So G is do. This is the key of G. Here's that G scale. And now we take the notes and we line them up with the solfege. This time G is do, and we just work our way up the scale from there. Now we add the notes, and these are the syllables we'll use when we're singing in the key of G. These are the only keys you'll see in this first level of sight singing, so you have lots of opportunities to practice this over and over. Now, for this first level of sight singing, you'll be singing in stepwise motion most of the time. Stepwise motion is when one note moves to the very next note up or down. Line notes move stepwise to the next space note. Space notes move to the next line note. The only leap you'll see is from so to do. This might look far, but it's actually the easiest leap. Why? Remember what we talked about earlier. So wants to go back to do. Your ear will want to take you there, trust me. So now we're going to work through 3 exercises with singers singing solfege in each of these keys. You can listen and sing along if you want. Here's the first one. When you're sight singing, quickly get a lay of the land. What key are we in? What's the time signature? If you said the key of C and 2/4 time, you're right. Now, if you want, you can pause the video and take a second and clap out the rhythm. That's another thing you can do that will help. In C, we know that C is do. These exercises in level 1 will start and end on do. Listen to the singers once, then rewind the video and sing along. Before the singing starts, you'll hear a scale and some notes to help get your ear into the key of C. Then you'll hear 2 clicks, since it's in 2/4 time, to set the tempo, and then you can start.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, do, re, mi, re, do.
After you've sung through it, play it again and stop on so at the end of measure 4. Notice how unfinished that sounds. You can also pause on the second to last note, re, and you'll notice that same unfinished feeling. Your ear will want to return you to do. Here's exercise 2. Again, quickly look around. What do you know? Pause the video while you think it through. You should have realized it's in 4/4 time. There are 8 measures. It's in the key of F, so F is do. What does it start and end on? Do. Once again, you'll hear the scale and the tune-up notes. 4 clicks and you're off. It's not a bad idea to listen once and then back up the video to sing along, but if you're feeling brave, try it with the singers the first time through.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, fa, sol, do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do.
Now this exercise is different than the first 2 because each singer has different notes. It's in 2-part harmony. Women should follow the treble clef and men should follow the bass clef. After you finish all the exercises for sight singing level 1, you can work through 2-part level 1. Both voice parts will start and end on do, and they will have identical rhythms. You should still approach these exercises the same way. What's the key? What note is do? What's the time signature? What do you start and end on? Hit pause for a second, take a look around. You should have found that it's in the key of G. G is do, and that's what you start and end on. It's in 3/4 time. Listen for the scale and tune up, and then the 3 clicks, and then give it your best shot.
Do, re, do, re, do, re, re, do, re, mi, re, do, do.
As you work your way through the other exercises in this level on the website, work on developing some good habits now. Good luck with your practicing.